be a good video. Let's cut the crap. We understand that 95% of traders are failing, right? And that's not an opinion, that's just a fact. Most of these traders in this industry are just not succeeding. But why? Why are so many people struggling so much to achieve the tiniest bit of success in the world's largest financial market? You see, we're living in a time right now where information is, we are bombarded with it. There's a million courses out there. There's a million strategies out there. But no matter what strategy you're trading, you just can't quite seem to get it. You can't quite seem to get that withdrawal you want. Or maybe you are experiencing some trades. Maybe you are getting some withdrawals, but you're not getting that consistent growth that you're desiring, right? Instead of your equity curve slowly going like this, you're finding your equity curve slowly going like this, or maybe quickly going like this. But let's really get to the point of it. Like in today's video, guys, I am so excited. And by the way, thank you for 4,000 subscribers. It means so much to me. But I want to really dive deeper today into some stuff that I've never seen talks about before online, right? Everyone's focused so much on technicals. Everyone's focused on having the best strategy, the highest win rate, the highest risk to reward. And yes, these pieces of information are important, of course. But what I want you guys to understand is that there are hidden forces that are causing you to constantly self-sabotage. And these hidden forces, I know for a fact you're experiencing them. But before we get into that, let's see how they can actually start to manifest. You see, a few different ways this self-sabotage can manifest is in the following. Maybe you've got a fear of entry. Maybe you just can't stop over trading. Maybe you're too scared to lose. Maybe you're trying to make money back from a few losses. You're revenge trading. Maybe you're getting fear of missing out. You're seeing traders all over social media being in positions and you have that urge, that desire to be in something. Or maybe you're just doubting yourself. Maybe you've got a level marked up. You're like, I'm going to take this trade. It comes to your level. You're doubting yourself and then you don't take the trade and it goes and now you're sitting there like, what the hell just happened? You see, guys, what I want you guys to really understand in today's video is that these problems that we're experiencing all are a result of simply just one thing. And once you understand this and begin to do the actual work behind the scenes, because this is the thing, right? Everyone thinks, oh, you're going to come into this and be rich overnight. Like, guys, trading is a profession, just like becoming a doctor, right? You have to learn the relevant skills to become an expert in that field. So when it comes to trading, right, what skills can we learn, right? We can analyze a chart, and that's what everyone seems to do. Everyone seems to focus so much on their technicals, they're failing to realize what's actually going on. And to illustrate and help you guys understand this, let's go on a journey. And for the rest of this video, guys, we're going to go on a long, extensive journey that I guarantee if you take this information and you apply it, you're going to experience ridiculous changes in your trading. But there's a key. You have to apply it, right? You can't just sit here and binge watch these videos as a form of entertainment, right? Yeah, cool. Maybe you're not watching Netflix, but you're watching these YouTube videos. But ask yourself why. Why are you watching this video? Are you watching this because you want to be entertained and you're bored? Or are you watching this because you actually want to learn and you're serious about changing your trading? Well, if you're serious about changing your trading, family, sit back, grab your notepad, grab a cup of tea, because we're about to go on an adventure. Just going to completely revolutionize your trading. Now, what do I actually mean? You see, I want you guys to understand something. Now, we are going to go on the loop, but everything's going to make sense by the end of this video. So, the first thing I want you guys to understand is that our brain, right? We have two sides of our brain. We have our left brain, which is our logical brain, where we're studying, right? Where we're looking at technical analysis. We're identifying the best institutional candle, the best level of liquidity. We're looking at the market structure, right? We're pointing out the different parts of the schematic. Or maybe we're a retail trader, right? But either ways, the way we trade doesn't matter. What I want you guys to understand is that the left side of your brain is focused on logic. And your right side of the brain, this is the key. Your right side of the brain is more creative. It's more emotional, right? This is your emotional side of your brain, your right side of your brain. And the thing is, we spend all of our time developing the left side of the brain, but why are we not spending the same amount of time, if not more, developing the right side of the brain? Because what we're doing, right, when we focus just on technicals and we're not developing our psychology, we're not developing the emotional side of our being, what we're doing is we're essentially going to the gym and training one arm and forgetting the other arm. It doesn't make sense, right? Everyone says, oh, psychology is 80% of trading. No. It's not 80%. It's not 90%. Trading psychology is 50%. The other 50% is technicals. Now, I'm not saying technicals are not important, because you do have to backtest, you do have to train your eye, and you do have to have obviously a sound strategy, of course. But that's not going to resolve all of your problems. No amount of backtesting, no amount of forward testing, journaling, whatever, is going to solve all of your problems, because that's just half of the battle. Look, let me ask you a question. And I want you to be honest here, right? There's no judgment. Have you really spent the same amount of time that you've spent developing your left brain, which is your technical analysis, right? Back testing, case studies. Have you spent the same amount of time developing that, and the same amount of time developing your emotional brain, developing your emotional intelligence? You see, this is the thing. We all come into this industry, right? We're like, okay, let's grind, let's work. But we're literally forgetting half of the issue. And this is the thing, your issues probably don't even come from your inability to analyze. Your issues probably don't even come from the way you mark up charts. I'm being honest with you. Like, it doesn't matter what way you trade. I'll be honest with you, right? You can trade retail. You can trade smart money. You can trade, I don't care how you trade. You can close your eyes and guess. That is irrelevant. And this is the thing. We spend so much time developing the left side of the brain, our logic and our analysis, but we're not even training the right side of our brain, which is the thing that's causing all of our problems. You see, our brain, our emotional side of the brain, has not been trained. It's not been trained to stay disciplined and patient when we're facing uncertainty. You see, what we've got to understand is we're dealing with a primitive brain. Right? The way our brains have evolved is they're evolved for short-term survival, and they interpret uncertainty as danger and risk. Now, what do I mean? Right? When we look at the markets, right? When we're looking at this chart, we don't actually know if the next 4 hours, days, weeks, minutes, we don't know if this market is truly going to go higher or if it's truly going to go lower. Of course, we can do some sort of analysis and try to, differentiate if it's going to go higher or lower based on probability. But ultimately, when we're looking at these markets, it's uncertain. And let me tell you this, no one for 100% certainty knows the true direction of the market. It's impossible, right? Unless you're JP Morgan trading $1 trillion of capital, right? You ain't going to know the true market direction because you're not the one creating it. So back to the brain, right? It's designed for fight or flight. It's designed to protect you, to keep you alive, because that's what it's been doing for the entire span of human evolution. Let's be honest. Our brains have evolved for that short-term survival, and it interprets any sort of uncertainty as danger and risk. So what happens when you're in a trade and it goes against you? Your heart rate's racing. Oh my God, it's going against me. Oh no. And what happens now is your caveman brain starts to wake up. And now what's happening is your thinking, logical brain is being washed away. You have to ask yourself this question. Do I really want to develop the brain for something different than what it was actually designed to do? You see, when we're trading, right, we're looking at the market, we're analyzing, or just any other thing. What happens is there's some sort of external input down here, right? Right, we have our input. Now, this can be you looking at the market. This can be a lion, right? This can be anything. Any sort of sensory thing you're experiencing. So let's talk in terms of trading. Let's say Monday morning London session, right? You come into London, you're looking at the market, and the first thing you do is you see the charts. So when you see the charts, you're experiencing that sensory, and that's going into your sensory thalamus. Now, this is part of your brain. And I want you to imagine, right, that in your sensory thalamus, this is like a traffic cop. And this traffic cop, what he's doing, he's basically making a decision on the information that he's receiving, right, from your senses. And this decision is simply based off danger and uncertainty. So he's saying, look, is there a potential danger? If there is a potential danger and we need to move fast, what the information will do, what the traffic cop will do, is he'll send it down the low road. That's the quick and dirty road that goes straight to your amygdala, which is your fight and flight response. And that's when you have that instant emotional response. Again, let's say you see a lion, right? Boom, pops out of nowhere. Traffic cop's like, oh my God, this is dangerous. We got to act quickly. Let's run. Boom. But let's say it's a dog, right? Let's say it's like a nice, cute and cuddly dog. The traffic cop looks at it and says, wait a minute. Does this need immediate action? Is this a danger to me right now? No, it's a dog, right? He's wagging his tail and he's coming up slowly. So what happens then is it will go to your high road, right? Now the high road is slow, but it's accurate. It's using that logical side of your brain. You can have time to analyze. You can say, okay, wait, is this dog actually going to bite me? Nah, he's being friendly. It doesn't require that immediate response. On the other hand, again, you see that lion, traffic cop's like, okay, this is dangerous, boom, let's go. What this traffic cop is doing is he's deciding what road is being used, right? Either the quick and dirty low road, boom, emotional response, or the high road where you have power and can decide. He's deciding what path this sensory information is going through based on his prior experiences with uncertainty. Now, what do I mean by prior experiences with uncertainty? Well, this can be things that have been inherited in our DNA, in our family. This can be literal things we've experienced in our past, right? It's just, as human nature, as we are, the way we've been evolved, the way we've designed, is we need this traffic cop to make that decision for us. Because think, again, if there's a massive lion there, you ain't got time to sit and think about a lion. Is he going to eat me? Is he friendly? No. Your brain knows, okay, boom, this is dangerous. Let's get out of it. But the trick is this. When you're trading now, what's happening is that traffic cop, he's sending your trading, when you look at the charts, he's going down the quick and dirty road. He's going down the low road. That's why when you look at the market, maybe you've got a level marked up, right? You say, okay, cool. When GBP USD comes to this price point, I'm going to sell it. Okay, maybe it doesn't come to that price point. After an hour, you're getting a bit bored, right? You're getting a bit agitated. So now you, instead of looking at GBP USD, you're looking at, USD CHF or Euro GBP. Now, because you're bored, you're like, okay, I need to get in a trade. You're uncertain about if you're going to be in that trade. And now you're thinking, okay, wait a minute, I'm uncertain if this trade's actually going to, come through. Again, you've got that desire to succeed in trading, and in normal life, right, in business, let's say, for example, you open a business, you've got to hustle, you've got to go out there and get it, you've got to take action. So naturally you associate, okay, taking action, we're making money. So now you go to another chart, Euro GBP, now look at what's happening. Your emotional brain's engaged. And now your emotional brain's engaged, you're not seeing clearly, because your emotions are like a lens that distort reality. You don't see reality as it is. You see reality as you are. As above, so below. If you're angry, if you're fearful, you're going to perceive the markets through that state. But the thing is, all this stuff we're talking about now is subconscious. This is not stuff you're aware of. This is your emotional brain going on. And the key is to get to the awareness. In the moment, you can be aware that this stuff is happening and say, wait a minute, let me chill out a little bit. I can feel a bit emotional now. I can feel some sort of tension rising, some sort of desire to be in a trade. So let me take a step back and ask myself, does this meet my rules? Because if it doesn't meet your rules, shouldn't be in the trade. I know hella times, right, when I was early in my journey, right, I'd be looking at the market. I'd have a level marked up. I'd be like, okay, I want to sell from here. And because I would get bored, I'd enter so many other bullshit trades. And by the end of the trading day, I'm looking back on my account like, what the hell? Why did I even take that trade? It didn't even meet my plan. And that's the key. Why? That's the thing. But why did we take those trades? What are the hidden forces that are causing us to self-sabotage? And this is it. We need to convince that traffic cop that there isn't a danger. That's what we need to do. That traffic cop, when he sees the market, right, when he's getting that external input from the charts, we have to convince him that there's no danger. Because what's happening now is when that traffic cop sees the markets, he's going boom, quick and dirty to the amygdala. But what we need to do is reroute it and convince him so he can send it to the high road. You can process it. You can actually think, wait a minute, does this meet my rules? Okay, maybe not. And then you can respond. Instead of reacting to the market. There's a difference. Let me give you some more examples, right? You're in the market. It's coming to your level. Your alert goes off. You're like, okay, I want to take the trade. But you pause. You hesitate. You're freezing. Maybe even the trade's going against you. That low road's kicking in. And what's happening is you feel a pulse. You feel something in your stomach start to twitch. You're getting nervous. You're emotionally aroused. Maybe you've had a few losses. Now you've got that aggressive desire to make back those losses. You're sitting there, you're trying to make a certain percent for the week because you've got a certain bills to pay. And again, this is all going down that low road. And until you can change the experience of that traffic cop who's deciding if it's going up the high road or the low road, until you can change that, well, you're going to keep getting the same results. Because what we need to do is develop our mind and develop our brain to get the successful thinking that trading requires. That's what we need to do. So again, you can experience these fears, these emotions. They can manifest, like we said earlier, fear of entry, over trading, fear of loss, revenge trading, fear of missing out, self-doubt. These are all reactive emotional adaptation. And again, guys, this is all happening under your ability to think. It's all in your subconscious and unconscious mind. We need to change how our brain responds to uncertainty and create a brain that welcomes and engages uncertainty. We've got to move away from controlling the outcome and simply focus on our capacity to perform. you can only control the mind that you bring to trading. So how do we do it, right? How do we change our fear-based brain to a brain that accepts and engages uncertainty? Firstly, it's understanding that we can redesign the brain. And luckily, you can do that through something called neuroplasticity. Now, look, I know it sounds crazy, but all it means is that your brain is essentially plastic in the sense that you can change and remodel it. You can completely redesign your brain, who you are and how you operate. But first, you have to be aware that it's necessary to manage your emotions for trading success. Right? If you're still sitting there and think psychology doesn't matter, I don't need to work on myself, I don't need to develop my emotions, I don't need to develop my brain, all I need to do is charts, study. Well, ask yourself this. If that was the key, why haven't you made it yet? Why are you still here trying to find the next thing? Because you're looking in the wrong areas, family. Look, why are there traders that are 7-8 figure traders that trade support and resistance? Why are there 7-8 figure traders that trade smart money? Look, the strategy is only half of it. Look, you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you haven't developed your emotional brain and these things we're talking about now, you will never be able to trade that strategy correctly. Because what you got to understand, family, that these emotions we're talking about, all these things that happen, all these fear of entries, FOMO, blah, 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 this is based on your emotions. And what you got to understand is this. This is you, right? This is your eyes, right? This is you, how you perceive. You don't see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. You're seeing it through the lens of your emotions, right? Your emotions cloud judgment. Look, it's like this, right? If we get a pot of water, right? And let's say the water is not boiling, it's just normal temperature. It's very clear. And if we put an object at the bottom of the pot, we can see that object, right? But let's say we start to heat the water up. We start boiling it. Well, look at this boiling water. It's very difficult to see through the water now. And the heat, the boiling is like your emotions. So all this stuff, right? All these emotions, again, it's all unconscious. And we firstly have to be aware that these emotions are causing our problems. Again, just think about your last 10 trades. Go back and look at them. And when you're looking at these last 10 trades, ask yourself, okay, did I really want to take this trade? Or was this just noise? It requires a very, very high level of self-awareness, family. Look, all knowledge is, knowledge, know thyself. You can read 1,000,000 books, but if you don't know yourself and can focus on what's going on in here, you're never going to make it. I'm being real. You see, for me, in my trading journey, I tried 1,000,000 strategies, but why did none of them work? Because it wasn't the strategy that was the problem, it was me. I wasn't the one putting in the work. I wasn't the one doing the right things and working on the right things and asking the right questions. And we have to, again, be aware that it is necessary to manage our emotions for trading success. So how do we experience these emotions? Well, when emotions are present, again, you've got to have that self-awareness and you've got to reflect on yourself, right? And when emotions are present, I want you to understand that all emotions have a biological signature, meaning that you're going to feel it or notice it in your body. This may be little things like tension in your muscles, right? Maybe you're sitting there trading, you're all locked up, like tensing, you know what I mean? You can feel a lot of tension. Maybe you can feel a pulse, like a dum dum. You can feel something going on. You can feel that urge, that desire to move, to take action. Maybe you're holding your breath. You're taking shallow breaths. You're sitting there like, maybe you're taking shallow breaths. You're like, and again, all this stuff you got to be conscious of. Because this is how we can be aware that our emotions are present, because they all have a biological signature. Because once these emotions start to get turned on more and more, what's happening is you're losing your clear-sightedness. You're losing that logical side of the brain. It's getting washed away. And if you allow these emotions to keep cranking up, again, that whole emotional brain is going to take over and you're going to go back to that primal fight or flight response. Everything stems from that primal based fear, fight or flight, because it goes back to the amygdala. If we look up on our diagram we made earlier, it's either going to take that slow road where it spends time to analyze, to process it, is clear and accurate, or straight away, oh my god, buy, sell this. Very distinct difference. Because again, once these emotions get aroused, once they start cranking up, the emotional brain completely takes over. But beneath all of this, there are certain beliefs that are glued to the emotions about how you manage uncertainty. And ultimately, your trading account is showing you the effectiveness of these beliefs that you hold. Again, you don't trade the market, you trade your belief system about the market. But what beliefs? Well, you're projecting your beliefs about managing uncertainty and risk onto the screen of the market. And again, what you see in your account is the effectiveness of those beliefs. Look, you've got a fear-based brain. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to force it to accept the risk of uncertainty. Again, back to the tribal days. Let's say there's opportunity and threat, right? There's a big lion. You've got to run away from that lion, because if that lion gets you and eats you, you're boom, dead, KO. But if there's, some delicious fruit and you miss that delicious fruit, well, it doesn't matter. You're not going to die instantly, right? There's probably going to be more opportunity. So your brain is naturally designed to look for fearful or dangerous things to keep you alive rather than opportunity. But what we're doing here is we're not forcing our brain to engage uncertainty and risk. We're reconstructing it. And we do this through neuroplasticity. All neuroplasticity means is that your brain, you can change it, right? You can change your beliefs, you can change your habits. It's not fixed in one specific way. It's malleable, it can be changed. So the first step, family, for us to become this consistent and profitable traders that we desire is awareness. Number one, we have to acknowledge that for trading success, we have to think and have the right mental habits in place to succeed. And we have to train our brain. If we leave it untrained, it's like a horse and a rider, right? If the rider's not disciplining the horse and not telling him to go this way or that way, the horse is going to do what it wants. But the second that rider disciplines the horse, he can take the horse where it wants to go. So that's the first step, right? Acknowledgement, awareness, right? They say first step to fixing any problem is being aware that you've got a problem, and that's already halfway there. So step two, right? We now need to focus on emotional regulation. What do I mean by emotional regulation? Well, what we need to do is take these emotions that come up and we need to calm them down so they're not taking over our mind. The more you resist, the more it's going to persist. You can't heal what you're hiding. So we have to manage these emotions when they arise, because they're going to arise no matter what, right? We're not trying to stop them from arising. What we're doing here, because we're human, right? To be human is to have emotions. That's half of it. What we're doing is not getting rid of them, because that's toxic. That's suppression, and you don't want to do that because it will be like a basketball, right? If you keep pumping it up, it's going to explode, and that can explode in ways like blown trading accounts. What you want to do is manage it so it's not hijacking your trading mind. You see, emotional regulation is not going to give you instant success, but what it's going to do is it's going to bring you to the door of the trading mind. And for us to get there, well, we need to understand what emotions actually are. See, the best definition I could find is this. It's a biological action potential. A biological action potential. The short-term change in the electrical potential of a cell in response to a stimulation. Essentially, look, when there's a change in your environment, there's going to be a response in terms of the emotion. Well, this is the cool thing. You can actually say what emotion will show up if you're willing to put in the work to get to that point. Look, all emotions are biological, meaning you're going to feel it or notice it, and it's going to manifest in your physical body. Emotion, energy in motion. And they have a unique signature. Like what? What sort of signatures do they have? Well, it can be in your breathing style, right? How are you breathing? Your muscle tension. How tense are you? And this is the thing, you have to watch yourself, right? You have to have self-awareness that, next time you're trading, how much tension you carried in your body and your shoulders? Are you relaxed? Are you leaning back and chilling? Or are you sitting there all tense up like, ugh? Next time you're trading, just watch yourself. Watch how much tension you're carrying in your shoulders. Watch how shallow your breathing is. And the thing is, that's not tension. That's not shallow breathing. That's emotional arousal. You see, once you're aware of this stuff, release the tension. Have intentional, deep diaphragmatic breaths. And this is a relaxation response. Diaphragmically, slowly breathing is a way to induce relaxation. And now you're at the door of the mind, you can honestly self-reflect. And you can now look at the beliefs. You can now look at the assumption and the biases that are holding your performance back. And you can also look at where the strengths are that you can continue to develop, which is where trading success lies. Major key, don't identify with these emotions, right? Next time you're trading, don't identify with these emotions, because that's half of your problem. You identify so much with these emotions, you're allowing them to run you over. A fish, he doesn't know he's in water until he's taken out of the water. What we're doing here is we have to notice something we never noticed before. And how do we do that? That's where we move to the next step. And what's that, you may be asking? Bing bong, it's mindfulness. You see, mindfulness is a tool for observing the mind. And it's understanding this major key, that the thought and the awareness of the thought are not the same. You see, the thing is, you're not having your thoughts are having you. And your lack of awareness and discipline on your thoughts is where your problems are coming from. No, just think to yourself, right, in your mind, close your eyes and think, hello, hello, hello. Okay, cool. Let's say you think you are the one creating your thoughts. Who was the awareness of those thoughts? Essentially, when you're having a thought, you're getting a download, right? From what? You're getting a download from the collective consciousness, through your own DNA, from history, from family. And then what happens is you're taking this to trading, and then when you trade, you get your instant result, stop loss or take profit, and then you're finding out the effectiveness of those rules, beliefs, and thoughts. Imagine your mind is like a community. And in this community, you've got a series of different programs. And these different programs all have their own intention. And all of these different programs, they're trying to battle each other, fight each other to essentially get control of your brain, to get control of you. And unfortunately, there's some bad members of this community. And these bad members of the community are the ones causing that trading problem. So what we need to do is develop new members, right? We need to develop new members. Because once we develop new members, they can take control and they can bring us closer to the actual results we want. But we have to give them the right training and the right responsibilities so we can get rid of and change these bad members of the community and now have our good members of the community that are working in harmony to get us the results we want. And again, you can do this through neuroplasticity. Essentially, neuroplasticity is understanding that, again, your brain is malleable, you can change it. And what happens is in your brain, you have neurological pathways, which essentially is like when, it's like having a habit, right? Let's say you're a smoker, right? And you've been smoking for 10 years. Every year you've been smoking, every day you've been smoking, right? You're building these muscles. You're building that muscle that reinforces you're a smoker. Now, let's say, for example, one day you want to give up smoking. Well, you can't just quit like that. I mean, maybe you can, but it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have those cravings. You're going to have these habits. So what you have to do is start to remove the old habits one by maybe, let's say you smoke 10 cigarettes a day, going down to 8 cigarettes, 5 cigarettes, 4 cigarettes, right? Cutting them down slowly and replacing them with newer and stronger and better habits. For example, let's say every time you get a cigarette craving, instead of smoking a cigarette, you have a glass of water, right? You're replacing it, you're remolding the neurological pathways in your brain. That brings us back to mindfulness. We can use mindfulness to help discover the self-limiting beliefs that are holding us back. And look, if you don't believe this is the key, well, just look at your own mind. Next time you're trading, listen to that self-doubt. Listen to that overconfidence. Listen to that voice that's convincing you that trade is going to work. And then 5 minutes later, you see it's your stop loss. Listen to that inner debate in your head. What's going on when you take a trade? Oh my God, do I take out my profits here? Oh my God, do I get out here? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Listen to that debate that's going on and understand that debate is those rival communities, those emotions fighting each other. Because all of our problems in trading simply stem from two things. And those two things are either going to be self-doubt or overconfidence, right? You might have that alpha mindset where you want to win and you think that because you want to win, you have to take action. You're starting to look for trades that are not even there. Trades that don't even meet your rules you're taking. That's what's going on in your mind. And this is not something you can just positively think your way out of, right? You can't just sit there and manifest your way out of it because this is the biochemistry of your brain. What you need to do is master your internal dialogue and create the new and improved neural pathways to replace the current ones you have, because let's be real, look at your trading account. That's going to show you how effective your current beliefs and neural pathways are. And look, I ain't trying to be a dick about this. I'm just sharing you the stuff that actually changed the game for me. Of course, technical analysis is important, but hey, and again, this is a skill, family. This is a skill. It's not something you're going to master instantly. You have to learn and you have to spend time developing the skill. And what is the skill? We need to learn how to deal with our inner critic in a different way. If you do the same things, you're going to get the same results. If we want different results, we've got to do something different. This is our next step, right? Learning to deal with this inner critic. And this is where we're empowering parts of ourselves to engage uncertainty and risk. And now we're becoming the designer of our emotion that are giving rise to our trading mind. Look, fear and aggression, they're easy to access under stress. But the same way you can access them, you can access the emotions required for profitable trading. The same way you can get angry, the same way you can get stressed, is the same way you can access the discipline of a ruler. You can access the courage of a warrior. You can access the self-soothing of a caregiver. And you can access the impartial thinking of a sage. And these are all emotional programs that we can control. But the problem is that no one's taught you how to access these emotions under stress. And the thing is, in this video, I've already taught you how to manage these. But most likely, because it's free, you probably didn't even pay attention. You probably didn't even write it down. So what's the key? Well, the real key is in real experience. But not just real experience, but being able to go in our memories and feel these emotions kicking in, and then developing the actual mind that brings us to that uncertainty. So what we need to do is we need to let go of trying to control the outcome and focus on managing the mind that we bring to uncertainty. Look, you can either be a lion, right? You can be that lion who's running out, who's hunting, who's grabbing things and chases. But then look what happens to these lions. They take a lot of damage, right? A lion goes up to a pack of buffaloes, he's probably going to get hurt if he gets the kill, or if he doesn't get the kill, he might even die. But look at like a mountain lion. Look at a different sort of animal, like a leopard or something. They don't chase, they stalk. Because you've got the hunter that runs and chases and takes damage, or the hunter that stalks, that will sit in his area, wait for the right opportunity, and then pounce once that opportunity has presented itself. I'll give you another analogy. A surfer, right? Does a surfer control the wave? Or does he control his mind when he's surfing? Look, I've done surfing a few times, and if you haven't, yo, it's lit. You need to surf. But when I'm surfing, look, I can't control how long this wave is going to last. I don't know if the wave is going to be a big wave or a small wave. All I can control is my mind once I'm on that surfboard and how I'm positioning myself. Now, these are the emotional programs we have to instill in ourselves, right? We need to have intentional discipline, right? Intentional self-soothing, intentional courage, intentional impartiality. Because what we're doing now is we're creating a mind this engage in uncertainty. And the mind required for trading success is not the mind that we were born with, unfortunately. This is one we have to design manually. And this is an edge that you can develop. Just ask yourself this: have I really developed my emotional brain in the same skill sets that complement my skill set for technical analysis? And the missing piece that you're missing is this. It's a moving from that fear or aggressive mindset to a patient and disciplined mind by design. You've got to be able to control the mind that arises out of the brain and turn it towards the fear and face it. And once you face that fear, you can then begin to manage it. But how do you really manage it? That's the question. Now, I've already given you the keys. That's the thing. I already told you the keys in this video. But for those who are aware, and this is the thing, go back and rewatch it and see if you can spot the keys. If you can't spot the keys and the steps on how we can create a mind that creates trading success, hey, no stress. Come back on our next video, because on our next video, I'm going to break down exactly step by step what you can do when you're trading to redesign your mind and design it into a mind that's going to help promote trading success. So if you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like, comment what you liked, what you learned, and really what you want to see next. And if you guys do want access to mentorship, you guys do want to learn more, feel free to shoot me a DM on my Instagram. Link is below. Make sure you do use this Instagram in the video description, because there's a lot of fake accounts going on, right? My only Instagram is IKDAVIS. That's it. No underscores, no S's. That's it, right? There's a lot of fake accounts going around, so please, please, please do not get scammed. Guys, as well, I will be dropping a whole pre-recorded course shortly as well, so do stay tuned for that, because so many people have been asking me about that. If you have been working with me already, you will get access to that course for completely free. Of course, if you're not working with me already, then hey, look, you gotta pay to play, man. So with that being said, family, thank you all for watching. If you guys have any questions, yo, don't hesitate to ask me. If you want to ask me privately, yo, my Instagram's in the description. If you want to ask me publicly, you have the comment section. And honestly, guys, like, the biggest thing I can say now, just to kind of conclude this video, is be aware about those unconscious forces. Right? You see, now you've got the awareness. To change any sort of problem, there's always 3 steps: awareness, acceptance, and transcendence. Today, I was giving you the awareness, right? The awareness of these problems that are essentially beyond the veil, causing you to fail. I should be a rapper. But anyway, Now we're aware of it. It's just down to you to accept it. You have the choice to either accept this information or reject it. So once you've accepted this information, we now have to move over to transcendence. Now, how do we begin to transcend? Hey, look, that's a whole nother convo for a whole nother day. So guys, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn on your notifications as well, so that when I do post the next video on exactly how you can transcend these things causing your self-sabotaging in trading, you'll know exactly how you can begin to move from that. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Master a Coin over and out, and I'll see you all from the top, because you already know, man, the bottom's way too crowded. Sheesh!